Indiana wearing white tops, black shorts, except for Bailey Lebo, who is wearing the traditional Hoosier red top. Northwestern counters with their all blacks in honor of Black Friday. Michelle Lee, the libero, is wearing the white shirt. Cameron Malloy will serve for the Hoosiers. And the 2018 regular season finale between Northwestern and Indiana is underway. The sophomore Malloy from Roselle, Illinois, sends it just over the net. It touches off the top. Lee controls. Right side of the swing by Gerback is blocked by Brianna Edwards on the left side of the Hoosier defense. And the first point belongs to Indiana.
Gerback had just one blocker in front of her. She didn't make the most heads-up choice with that good set. It was a good pass, good set from Britt Bomber, but she swung right into that single blocker Edwards in front of her.
You mentioned Northwestern's offense has been struggling of late. Count that as double for Ella Gerback. Negatives in 3 straight matches as Malloy sends it just a little bit too long, looking for the back left corner. Allie Lindrop was there, and Malloy sent it too long. A service error. We're tied at 1.
Yeah, it's just like a restart of the game now. Ella Gerback can kind of wipe that point off of her mind. Malloy is going to be regretting that service error later, but it's still early.
Nia Robinson comes into the front row for the Wildcats, and Sarah Johnson comes into the back to serve, all square at 1. Edwards first contact for the Hoosiers. Brizak left side for Edwards, blocked by Viscuso, and it lands in the back row. A block by Viscuso and Cannon, and the Cats take the lead.
That was a perfectly timed double block from Viscuso and Cannon. The Northwestern offense has been changing a lot in its look lately, so that's kind of an uncommon pairing, but they did a really great job timing that double block.
Cats are an average team in blocks. Indiana a little bit better than average in conference this year. Expect to see a fair number of those. Indiana in system, a roll shot from Edwards. Viscuso swipes it over the net. Indiana controls. Bump set near side by Lebo. Big swing by Edwards. Did she get the hand? She did. Off the touch of Cannon and out for a Hoosier point.
Smart swing from Edwards. She didn't get nearly as high off the ground as she wanted to. She had to sort of jump into the ball, but she swung high and deep and just used the hands of the Northwestern blocker to push that ball really far away from the Northwestern defense.
Team high 49 attacks last time out for Brianna Edwards, the true freshman. Now Lebo to serve. Northwestern in control. The left side swing by Robinson. Indiana is there. Now the Hoosiers control. In the middle of the swing by Hayden Hubers, and Sarah Johnson can't find it in the back row. Somebody lost a shoe. Brianna Edwards lost her right shoe on the play, but Hubers is able to finish off the point. Indiana takes a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, and so far, Northwestern has struggled already with Indiana's block. It looks like their hitters are not exactly ready to go. They look a little cold, so they need to get a lot more energy, a lot more pop on their attacks, and make some smart shots to get this match going.
Unsurprisingly, Indiana very successful out of the middle this year with Lofton and Hubers. Another good serve by Lebo. Johnson controls. Right side swing by Cannon, trying to go far corner, and she does not find the edge. Cannon goes cross court long, and Indiana leads 4-2.
And again, all 3 swings that this Northwestern team has taken have looked a little bit lazy, not aggressive movements. They need to adjust that if they're going to get the points going here.
No kills thus far for Northwestern in the early going. Left side to swing by Robinson, over the block, nice up by Bailey Lebo. Brizak runs a long way, sends it back row, and Edwards sends it into the net. Cannon was there for the block, but Edwards didn't even get it over the net. Point Northwestern.
And now Viscuso is heading back to the service line. She has actually been a really good server for this Northwestern team. She hits a high, flat float serve that goes deep. So let's see if she can get something going for the Northwestern team here.
17 aces, 16 errors. It's a pretty good ratio for a middle blocker, especially. Good serve that time. Ties up Edwards. Bump set by Lebo. Edwards gets the swing, and Bomber makes first contact for the Cats. Johnston, left side swing by Robinson. She goes line, and she finds it. A kill for Nia Robinson. The first of those for the Cats, and we're tied at 4.
And that's great out-of-system play for Northwestern. Britt Bomber took that first ball, and Sarah Johnston was stepped in and ready to deliver a nice high set that gave Nia Robinson time to adjust to it.
Johnson missed a couple of matches earlier this year. It's nice to have her back in the lineup. Another good serve from Viscuso, up by Malloy. In the middle of the swing by Hubers. Good up by Britt Bomber, back right. Another bump set by Johnson. Right side roll shot by Cannon. She didn't hit it very well and went off the top of the tape, but it found the ground. Take it any way you can get. Sometimes 5-4 Cats.
Yeah, Cannon just whiffed that ball, but again, she didn't look like she was taking a full approach. She needs to be making an effort to drive all the way back and all the way in as fast as she can if she's going to get some speed going here.
Brianna Cannon hitting the negatives last time out against Michigan earlier this week, looking to rebound today. Another good serve from Viscuso, Cats up 1. Brizak runs right into the net as she tried to get the set away, and she'll be called for a double contact. Not a great pass. Brizak tried to handle it. It's a setting error on the junior Indiana setter. Northwestern up 6-4 early stages here in the first set of the regular season finale. Viscuso on a little bit of a run here from the back right corner. Up by Malloy in the middle. Brizak in the middle, a back set to Hubers. Good contact, better up by Viscuso. Left side, a tip shot coming from Cannon. Not the greatest set from Bomber. And Hubers and Lexi Johnson were both there for the block.
and that's not the set you want to see from Bomber at all. She was backing away from the ball instead of setting into it, so the ball just died. It was low, tight, and inside, which is just the kiss of death for an outside hitter, and tipped right into the block.
Now we get to see the other Indiana setter, the true freshman Abigail Westenhofer out of Louisville, late commit to this class. She's had a pretty solid freshman year. Good serve, overpass from the Cats. Big swing by Hubers, and the Cats keep it alive. The set left side for Nia Robinson. Northwestern looked like they might have lost the point, but they go to Robinson to save the day.
And it was a great set from Aubriana Cannon. She looked a little bit discombobulated there when she realized the ball was coming to her and she needed to make a play on it. But she was able to send a nice high set out to Nia Robinson, which is exactly where she likes it. High and loopy so that she can just take a big approach and hit it.
And chalk up the assist to Aubriana Cannon. Don't see that every day. Cats up 7-5 in the first. In the middle, the swing by Hubers off the solo block attempt by Walker, and it goes out of play. Point Indiana.
Hubers is kind of undersized for a middle attacker, but she is fast, and she got it in there a lot faster than Alana Walker's block got up, which is why she made a contact with the ball, but she wasn't able to press over in time to put the ball back on Indiana's side.
Megan Coors will serve for the Hoosiers. Back left swing, or up by Johnson rather, and then on the slide, Alana Walker on the right side, dug out by Lebo. Westenhofer sets right side, first swing by Asdell, and Lexi Pitsis is there for Northwestern. Lee, left side for Robinson, cross-court blast, and not even Bailey Lebo could handle that one. Robinson finishes it off again, 8-6 Northwestern.
And that's a huge swing for Nia Robinson, and something that she has been working on every year that she's been here. She took a deep approach so that she was able to get her full body behind that out-of-system play and get her full power behind the ball.
Good start for Nia Robinson. Might have slowed just a little bit as she serves it into the net. Doesn't even get over the net, and Indiana back within one at 8-7.
Northwestern just needs to make sure they stay disciplined right now. After a big side out like that, you never want to miss your serve. They need to make sure they're working through every phase of the game with as much discipline and focus as possible.
Hubers on to serve for the Hoosiers. Pitsis with the first up, and on the slide, the right side swing by Walker. She finds the back line. Indiana not there for it. The Cats up 9-7.
Great side out from Alana Walker. They really like to use her on the slide in serve receive, which is pretty unusual. That's usually a transition play, but it works well for Northwestern. Alana hits it really sharp.
First kill of the day for Alana Walker, and now Michelle Lee will serve. Coors with the first contact for the Hoosiers. Now on the right side, the swing by Asdell. Northwestern had a system, and Bomber just swipes her left hand at it, tried to get a piece of it. She did, but was far too close to the net. Good effort by Bomber, but not a whole lot she could do with that.
The attack wasn't tough from Asdell. It was kind of a roll shot, but Nia Robinson and Michelle Lee collided, both trying to make a play on that ball. Northwestern needs to communicate back there.
9-8 in favor of Northwestern in the first set. Brizak back on the floor. She'll serve. Bomber has to run a long way and bumps it left side for Gerback. Rejected by Lofton, and Robinson can't handle it in the back row. A block by Lofton. Lexi Johnson was there as well, and Indiana has tied it up at 9.
Gerback tried to go off the high hands of the Indiana blocker there, but Lofton timed it too well. She got both of her hands on that ball.
Lofton has led Indiana in blocks, tied for the lead in blocks 17 times this year. Back row swing from Robinson. She looks for a tip call, and she gets it. Out of the back row, you haven't seen that from Northwestern too much this season. They go to it that time, and it works.
It was a really smart play call from Robinson to call Bomber on that type attack. It was low and fast, and Indiana's defense was not expecting it at all.
4 kills on 6 swings, for Nia Robinson in the early going. Cats by 1. Bomber to serve, back left, up by Coors. Right side tip shot from Malloy. Nice dig by Michelle Lee. Swatted it up with her left hand. Now a roll shot cross court from Cannon. And Lebo answers with a nice diving dig. Brizak sends it over. Lee, first contact again. Back set again for Robinson. With a blast up by Lebo in the back row. Indiana somehow controls. Here comes a free ball. Robinson, first contact for the Cats. Bomber to the back row again for Robinson. Good touch by Lofton, and Malloy can't handle it on the second touch. Third time's the charm. Nia Robinson finishes it off again. Cats up 9-11.
I love the aggression for Nia Robinson. She's showing herself to be a real leader in the offense right now. Bomber just needs to make sure she mixes it up enough so that Nia Robinson is getting a lot of swings, but not too many.
Bomber to serve again, her team up by 2. Coors first contact back left in the middle for Lofton. All 3 Northwestern blockers were there, but none of them could get close enough to the net, and it's a kill for Daisha Lofton.
It was just a mistimed attack between Lofton and her setter. She needs the ball a little bit higher. She's a tall girl, and she wants to be able to make an aggressive play on that ball, but when the ball doesn't come up high enough over the tape of the net, there's nothing she can do about it.
You don't see that too often, and all 3 members of the Northwestern front court were there. They knew where that set was going. They still couldn't stop it. It's 11-10 in favor of Northwestern. Malloy back to serve once again. Up by Lee. Left side swing by Cannon. She tries to go line, and she finds it. Blast on the left side by Aubriana Cannon, and it's 12-10.
And that's Cannon's first real aggressive swing of this whole set. She's gotten the ball a couple times, but she's mistimed it almost every time. That time she took a full approach and made good contact on the ball. Getting a good contact point is really the key for Aubriana Cannon to get some momentum behind her in this set.
Pretty even first set thus far. Cats up 12-10. Good serve by Johnson. Tough play for Edwards. Bump set left side by Brizak for Edwards, and she is roofed. A block on Black Friday by Aubriana Cannon and Olivia Viscuso, and Steve Aird calls a timeout. The Cats out to a 13-10 lead.
And again, we talked about this earlier, but that was an unusual combination, blocking combination. We saw Viscuso and Cannon pairing up to shut down that outside attacker. Both are not the tallest blockers, and they're not usually paired together. So it's really great for Northwestern to see some early consistency and that connection in this set.
We've mentioned all season, Mila, that Northwestern hits into more blocks than anybody else in the conference. It's been that way for a long time, it seems. It certainly hasn't changed this season. Again, last in the conference in terms of most opponent blocks. Their opponents average 2 3/4 blocks per set. Indiana already at 3 so far in this set, but the rest of the Northwestern offense has been good enough for a 3-point lead.
Yeah, Northwestern was hitting into the block more early in this set, but they were making up for it by playing well in other areas of the game. But now it looks like Mia Robinson is really getting going, and we saw on that last couple points ago, Aubriana Cannon took a full swing. Alana Walker, a couple points ago, also had a clean kill on serve receive to get that side out. So it looks like the Northwestern offense is getting going here and learning how to adapt to this Indiana block.
Cats hitting 211 here in the early going. Indiana, to that last block by Viscuso and Cannon, down to 125. And Northwestern leads at 13-10 in the first set of the 2018 regular season finale. Tim Hack and Mila Jasper here with you from Welch Ryan Arena. Lee, Bomber, Robinson, Cannon, and Viscuso on the floor for the Cats, with Sarah Johnson to serve from the middle of the back stripe. Up by Lebo. Brizak right side swing by Lexi Johnson. High off hands. Lee controls, and Bomber has to push Lee out of the way to get to the ball. Robinson just sends it over. Indiana in system on the middle for Lofton. Nice contact by Bomber. Bump set by Lee. Left side Robinson rejected by Lofton, but Viscuso is able to bump it over somehow. Lebo, bump set, left side, roll shot by Edwards, and somehow Northwestern all helter-skelter. They couldn't get to it. 3 different players were on the floor trying to get it up, and none of them could. Point for the Hoosiers.
That was such a smart contact from Brianna Edwards there. She just tipped the ball right behind the block after Northwestern's defense had been scrambling to make a lot of digs throughout that rally. Really smart play on the Indiana offense.
Haley Lebo from the back right corner. She's had a fantastic sophomore season. Robinson on the left side pin. Off the block, Indiana controls. Edwards, not a great shot that time, and her opposite number 11, Bomber, controls. Right side swing by Cannon, high off hands, nice diving attempt by Malloy, but it was just a little bit too strong for her, and Cannon with the right side kill.
Aubriana Cannon looks a little bit unsure of herself out here on this right side pin. She doesn't really know where to take her transition and start her approach, but on that point she made a smart shot and let the ball come all the way over to her right shoulder so that she could put the ball down line where it's hard to dig.
Cannon's moved all over the floor for Northwestern this year in her first year in Evanston. Cats up 14-11, a roll shot out of the middle, and Northwestern somehow keeps it alive. Bomber just kept it off the floor. Indiana controls. Bump set by Lebo for the far side for Lexi Johnson. Nice dig by Bomber. She sends it over, though. Indiana in system. Left side, Edwards goes high off the hands. Doesn't get the touch. Cannon was in the area, and Edwards thought she had the hands. Official says no dice, and the Cats up 4.
Earlier in the play, it really looked like that ball was down and had hit the floor, so I'm surprised that Indiana's coach isn't protesting that play, but it is still early in the match.
Edwards sends it long, her 4th attack error of the game already. Viscuso to serve again, 15-11 Northwestern. Brizak in the middle for Hubers, there's a blast. No chance for Sarah Johnson. Nice way for the Hoosiers to side out.
Great shot from Hubers. Brizak and Westenhofer have been looking to get the middles involved early in the set, but they hadn't been able to make a good connection until now, and that was a sharp wrist-away shot from Hubers that it's going to be really hard for Northwestern to defend if she gets that going more often.
3 kills on 7 swings for Hubers. Now Westenhofer to serve. Northwestern goes middle with a response to their own. True middle shot from Alana Walker, and she terminates.
And that one ball is pretty uncommon to run on serve receive because usually the block is loaded in base and ready to go. But Alana Walker is just so fast and gets up so high that it doesn't matter that she's got a block in front of her.
Lexi Pitts is now in to serve for the Cats. We mentioned Be nice having Sarah Johnson back in the lineup. Same goes for Pitsis, who missed a couple of games last month with an injury. Left side of the swing by Edwards, blocked by Bomber and Walker, and it falls on the Indiana side of the floor. Now hold on a second, we're going to have a bit of a discussion here between the officials. The original call went to Northwestern, and then the up official immediately overturned it, as I assumed. The block by Bomber went out, so it's a point for the Hoosiers. Brianna Edwards will gladly take it. 16-13 Cats in the first set. Big upserve by Edwards, and she lost a little bit of control on that one. Trying to find the right sideline from her vantage point, and almost hit Shane Davis with the service. Another service error. And
that's a really poorly timed miss from Brianna Edwards. She usually is able to hold serve consistently, and now the gap is 4 points, and Robinson has a lot of confidence on this service line now.
17-13 for the Cats. Robinson to serve. Westenhofer sets middle, and Hubers had to reach back to try to cock and fire on that one. She was fortunate to get a good enough swing. She finishes it off.
It was, again, a poor connection between the setters and the middles, but Hubers is so athletic that she was able to hang and reach for it, and the ball was just so awkward coming over that the Northwestern defenders didn't know how to move to it.
Cats by 3 in set number 1. Serve handled by Pitsis, and Bomber has to just fork it over. Westenhofer, right side swing by Asdell, tries to go line. She sends it long again. Another point for Northwestern. I wonder, Bila, never mind. Hold on, hold that thought as Alana Walker slid to the floor on that last play. Asdell sent it long. And Walker is still on the floor with her left leg under her. She's now able to stand up. Not a great sign for the Cats. We'll let you know if we find out anything more. 18-14 here in the first set as the game goes on. Lead is served for the Cats, dug out by Lebo. Big swing by Malloy on the left side, and Viscuso is there to block it. Malloy will try it again over Viscuso that time. Hits us with the overpass. Malloy first contact. Westenhofer in the middle for Disha. Lofton looks for the left line, and she got it. Nice play by Westenhofer to set up Lofton, and the veteran middle finishes it off.
Beautiful contact for Lofton. She reached really high, kept her elbow up the whole time, and she pounded that ball across her body down the line. Northwestern's defense was not down and ready to take that tough, aggressive swing.
I mentioned Indiana has 2 veteran middles, Hubers and Lofton, both true juniors. Northwestern really only one now in Olivia Viscuso. 18-15 in favor of the Cats. Bump set all the way across the court, and Gerbach has to just tip it over. Lebo sets right side. Johnson with a high swing. Northwestern able to control. Out of the back row, Robinson just gets it over the block of Lofton, and Lofton controls. Brizak just pushes it over, had to send it over. And now another pipe set from Robinson. Indiana controls in the back row in the form of Edwards. Left side swing by Malloy. Tried to go back row. Did she get a touch? She did. Robinson tried to get out of the way, but somebody touched in some way. And a point for Indiana.
Yeah, Nia Robinson kind of wasn't sure whether she should take that ball or not, but her arm was out and the ball just hit it going on the way out, so it was a good shot from Malloy. Poor decision from Nia Robinson.
4 assists for Brizak, 5 for Westenhofer, and the veteran setter Brizak will come in to serve her team down by 2. Gerbach rejected on the right side by Robinson. Northwestern will try Gerbach again on their left side. Indiana controls out of the pipe set, and Edwards tried to find the line, and she did. Again, give her a touch as well on the way there. And a mini run here for the Hoosiers, and Shane Davis seeing his team have its lead trimmed down to 1. A 3-0 run for the Hoosiers. He calls his first timeout. Already 14 swings for Nia Robinson. She had 43 last time out against Michigan. 13 kills in that game as well. So Robinson picking up where she left off. 5 kills on those 14 swings. Cats up 18-17 in the first set. The pass from Viscuso goes over the net, and Cameron Malloy finishes off the overpass. The Hoosiers now extend their lead to 4, extend their run to 4. They've tied it up at 18.
It's a brand new game right now. Northwestern needs to get back on the scoreboard at 18-18.
Brizak has been serving well. Good up by Pitsis. Bomber pushes it left side. Tip shot from Gerbach. Nice up by Brizak that time. Right side to swing by Johnson, and Lee couldn't handle it. Lexi Johnson is 6'4". She tomahawked that into the floor. It's now a 5-0 Indiana run, and Shane Davis calls his final timeout. Of course, a famous family. Her older sister Willow plays for Oregon, a team that is NCAA tournament bound, and her father is MLB Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. Lexi Johnson on the board here this evening. Her team now up 19-18 as we're back underway. Bomber, left side to swing by Gerbach. Nice up by Malloy, who got to her knees. Here's Johnson again, and this time she's blocked. Viscuso and Gerbach were there. and we're tied at 19.
That's exactly the side out Northwestern was looking for. Viscuso has been doing a really good job getting all the way to either pin on that block, something that's the toughest job for the middles to do. So it's a great double block connection there for Northwestern side out.
Good sight to see as Alana Walker has rejoined the Northwestern bench. We're tied at 19 here in the first. Bomber the serve. Middle of the roll shot by Lofton. She gets a second crack at it. A little bit fortunate that time, but Lofton will take those chances when she gets it. 20-19 for Indiana.
If I was Shane Davis, I would be protesting that call. Lofton caught that ball and threw it down. That's definitely a carry, and refs need to do a better job calling that play.
Definitely don't see a swing like that too often from a middle. Third kill from Lofton. Big serve from Malloy, and she sends it long once again. Pretty even keel server this year, one of their better ones. 21 aces against 21 errors coming in. That's now a couple of errors at the service line for Malloy today.
And the ball never lies. I just called that ball that should have been a carry, and Indiana misses their serve, and that's how it goes in volleyball. The volleyball gods never lie.
All's fair in love in volleyball. We're tied at 20 apiece in set one. Good battle so far. Brizak in the middle. Another weird shot from Lofton, and this time she gets it to go. Kind of a palm ball that time that she was able to fork down, and Indiana takes a 21-20 lead.
Much better tip though. Northwestern hasn't been doing a good job covering that donut in the middle. There are 3 or 4 players diving for that ball, but no one able to make a good contact on it.
And not the cleanest contact from Lofton, but that'll do it for the Hoosiers. Left side to swing by Robinson. She's back in business. We're tied up at 21.
Nia Robinson has been taking some great swings on out-of-system balls. She's working really hard to transition far enough back that she can get her full body behind those balls.
Back to the floor, Alana Walker. She joins Robinson and Cannon in the front row. All square at 21 in set one. Viscuso to serve. Malloy, the first contact. Right side swing by Johnson. High off the tape, and it's a Northwestern points. Whistle goes against Indiana on Johnson's approach, and the Cats will take the lead, 22-21.
Looked like Johnson just caught the pin on the way down when she attacked that ball there.
Another hitting error for Lexi Johnson, her second of the set. Cats 3 points away from winning the first frame. Viscuso to serve again. The middle set by our 4 Hubers rather. Johnson runs a mile to get to it, and Cannon somehow sends over the 3 ball. What a play. Northwestern back in it defensively, and they get the point. Walker and Robinson were there for the stuff. It looked like a lost play. Sarah Johnson saves it, and the end zone seats, and Northwestern wins it with a block. Timeout, Steve Aaron.
What a play from Sarah Johnson. That is exactly the kind of hustle that Northwestern has needed to see all season. Sarah Johnson ran all the way from her position on the court back to the end of the bleachers, one-handed save. She was able to bring that ball all the way back behind her head, and luckily enough Northwestern players were trailing her that Aubriana Cameron was able to take that ball over the net, and followed up by a great block from Alana Walker. That's exactly how you want to treat a teammate who has just made a huge save, sacrificed her body to the floor.
Sarah Johnson epitomizing what she's brought to the team for the last couple of years. Hasn't been the libero recently, but hasn't stopped her from contributing at a very high level. Cats 2 points away in set one. Indiana right back to it in the middle set for Hayden Hubers off the hands of Victoria Brizak, and Indiana gets the side out.
That was a smart play from Brizak to give the ball to Hubers. She's been the only hitter that's giving Northwestern's defense a lot of trouble. Her kills have been straight down with no touches from the Northwestern side, so it's a smart play.
9 kills, 16 attempts for the 2 Indiana middles, no errors. Right side swing by Cannon, and Edwards was too late for the block. Cannon finishes it off, and Northwestern has set point.
Smart job from Aubriana Cannon. When she's over on the right side in serve receive, the sharp cross shot is always the best to go because you have one blocker coming from the outside. So it was a great shot from Northwestern side.
24-22 in set one, and now Cannon will serve for the Cats. Goes back middle, and Malloy is there. Westenhofer in the middle, Hubers off the hands of Bomber and down on the Northwestern side of the floor. Indiana survives for now.
Bomber's actually been a pretty solid presence at the net tonight. She set the block pretty well, but that's when she was a little bit far off from the net and she wasn't pressing over, and so the ball just caught between her and the net. Northwestern still just needs one ball side out to win this first set.
Megan Coors back to serve again for the Hoosiers. Up by Johnson in the middle for Bomber. Left side Robinson, a blast. Up by Lebo. Malloy runs a long way to get to it. Sends it back to the back of her side of the floor. Lebo sends over a high arcing free ball. Bomber, right side of the slide for Walker. Welcome back to the floor. Alana Walker left a few minutes ago with an injury scare, and she's back to finish off set one. The Cats take it 25-23. That's exactly what Northwestern needed. They take a set off of Indiana. Indiana won the first matchup this season in 4 sets, and the Cats take set one here today, 25-23. 23. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with set number 2 right after this. We're out to a pretty good start here today. Nia Robinson tied for the match lead with 6 kills on 16 swings. That leads all players. No errors, though, a .375 hitting percentage. Alana Walker, 3 of 4 with no errors in that first set. .750 percentage, and Aubriana Cannon with 4 kills as well. Hayden Hubers, 6 kills, no errors on 11 swings for Indiana. It's a .545 hit percentage. Brianna Edwards and Daisha Lofton both with 4 kills for Indiana, and Cameron Malloy added 2. Brizak and Westenhofer combined for 13 assists, and Bomber had 7 herself. The Cats lead it 1-0 as we get set for set number 2. Lee, Bomber, Robinson, Cannon, and Viscuso on the floor for the Cats, and Sarah Johnson to serve. Sends it just over the net, and we're underway in set number 2. Right side, long approach by Malloy. Bomber has to reach back to get it, and Lee with a great hustle to try to get to it. She slides into the right end zone seats that time, and can't quite mimic the excellent play that Sarah Johnson made in the latter stages of that first set. 1-0 Indiana.
Bomber is just a little bit out of position on that defensive play. She needed to be one step in to take that dig from Cameron Malloy, which wasn't an aggressive shot.
So Malloy now back to serve. Indiana up 1-0 in the early stages here in the second. Johnson the first touch, right side swing by Cannon. She finds the floor. Perfectly set up by Northwestern. The system finding Cannon on the right side.
I really like that choice from Britt Bomber to go to the right side. When in serve receive, the right side has a really good cross shot that's open when Indiana is in this rotation. And that's exactly what Aubriana Cannon did.
1-1 here in set number 2. Northwestern up 1-0 with Viscuso to serve. She tries to go back left corner and sends it just past the line. Bailey Lebo wisely moves out of the way, and Indiana wins the point.
And Viscuso is usually a really good serve for Northwestern. She's just got to shake that off early in the set. The error is not going to kill them.
Neither team has a service ace to this point in the match. Lebo, always a good bet to get one. Good serve there. Northwestern controls. Middle set for Walker. Indiana is there. Now a tip shot on the left side from Edwards. Northwestern in control again. Lee, right side swing by Cannon. She tries to go cross court. Northwestern says they got a touch, and the referees agree. Another kill for Cannon. It's 2-0.
That sharp cross shot again has been working really well for Cannon. When she's been on the outside, she's been hitting a great line shot, but when she switches over to the right side, it's that cross shot that's been working for her really well, and it's much easier to attack as a right-hander.
Lexi Pitsis back into serve. She was busy in the first set with 3 digs for Northwestern. All square at 2 in the second. Not a great reception that time by Edwards, and Malloy has no chance to get it. A service ace for Lexi Pitsis, the first for either team in the game.
Really smart serve from Lexi Pitsis. Edwards actually struggled a couple points ago to make a good pass, and so I would keep attacking Edwards until she proves herself that she can pass.
Edwards in the back left corner, and that's exactly where Pitsis goes. A little bit of a better pass this time. Pipe set for Cameron Malloy. Lee takes it away from Pitsis. Right side of the slide for Walker. She finds the line once again. 4th kill for Alana Walker, and the Cats lead by 2.
Even though Alana went out in the middle of that last set, she has looked better and better as the match has gone on. Her past few touches have been really aggressive and strong, and she's jumping so high.
4-2 Northwestern, early stages of the second set. Cats up 1-0 in the match. This time Pitsis targets Malloy. Brizak. Edwards has to adjust to get to that swing. Lee with the first touch for the Cats. Left side the swing by Robinson off the hands of Lexi Johnson. And that's bread and butter for Northwestern. It's 5-2.
Good shot for Nia Robinson. Really smart to use the block like that. I think Bomber's positioning with the sets has looked a lot better than it has in previous matches, and that's why her hitters have been able to swing away with confidence.
That's on a little bit of a run of 4-0 here in the second set. Malloy with the first touch for the Hoosiers, and the shot by Edwards is blocked by Alana Walker. Bomber in the area as well. Now a 5-0 Northwestern run.
Bomber was really feeling that one. She set the block in a perfect position, and she was big. That's exactly what she's in there to do so, and that's blocking in her size is why she beat out Kiara McNulty for this better spot.
6-2 Northwestern, and that run will come to an end as Lexi Pitsis sends it into the net. 3rd service error for the Cats, and it's now 6-3.
And Westenhofer is now back in for Indiana, and she's going to be looking to make a change in this momentum. But it's definitely Indiana's weaker line. Abdel hasn't been hitting as well as other hitters, and Huber is shorter than Lofton.
Bomber tries for the center attack, and Hayden Huber's read it all the way. Just about to say that neither setter for Indiana swings very often. Bomber tried to make that one happen herself and send it into the net.
I like the idea from Bomber. I just don't think she did it at the right time. In serve receive, you usually want to run your hitters first.
Bomber's a decent hitter at 185 this year. Neither of the Indiana setters hit or block very much at all. 6-4 Northwestern. Robinson with the roll shot. Indiana scrambles to get control, but get control they do. Tip shot from Asdell. Bomber first touch for the Cats. Lee pushes it left side. Robinson shot blocked by Asdell. Lee tries to get to it. Can't quite do it. A block for Hubers and Asdell. And Indiana quickly back within one.
It was a good out-of-system set from Michelle Lee over to Nia Robinson, but Robinson just didn't time her approach right, had to really slow it down to get to the ball right in time.
3-0 mini run for the Hoosiers. Bomber pushes it left side. Robinson again, off of the block of Asdell and down. Cats go right back to where they're used to going, and Robinson finishes it off this time.
Asdell has been struggling to get her blocking hands turned back into the court, so it's a real weakness when Nia Robinson goes up and she sees a poorly formed block that she can just swing into and make the error for themselves.
Robinson bounces back from her first error with her 8th kill. Overpass from Malloy. Walker controls for the Cats. Left side, big swing by Gerback. Nicely done by Bailey Lebo. Pipe set from Malloy from Westenhofer. Good up by Lee. Bomber on the slide for Walker. Indiana controls. Westenhofer. Four set in the middle for Hubers, and Bomber controls for the Cats. Left side, Gerback waits for it and fires. Dug out by Malloy. Good rally here. Westenhofer on the left side. Swing by Edwards. Blocked by Walker. Westenhofer bumps it up high. Edwards pushes it over. Nice up by Lee. She sends over an overpass, and Indiana was ready for it. Edwards and Hubers were both in the area for the Hoosiers, and it's 7-6 Northwestern.
Northwestern really tried to stay in that rally defensively. We saw Ella Gerback had a couple of big swings. She needs to make a change with what she's doing. She hit negative in the first set and still hasn't had a kill in this second set.
No kills, 2 errors, 9 swings for Gerback after 2 on that last possession. Cats by 1 out of the pipe set. Nia Robinson with a blast, and nothing Abigail Westenhofer can do. 9th kill for Nia.
And every time they run this pipe set for Nia Robinson, it gets better and better and better. She usually is a better attacker when she has a nice high ball, but that pipe is fast and right in her pocket, and she is making a great play back there.
Ivy Whalen just pretended to resuscitate Emily Eamon over there on the Cats bench. That's how nice that swing was from Nia Robinson. 8-6 Cats in the second set. Westenhofer on the right side to swing by Asdell. What a play by Lee. Dove in front of Cannon to get that ball up. Robinson, beg your pardon. As Malloy chips it over, and Lee gets to that one again. No, she didn't. She almost did. Rolled just in front of Lee's outstretched fingertips. It's a point for Indiana.
Michelle Lee is doing a really good job holding the defense down back there. When Britt Bomber is in the front row, she's actually playing on the right back position as opposed to the left back, which is where Lexi Pitsis is playing, and she's actually pretty comfortable playing there because that's where she played last year when she was the libero. So Northwestern is feeling pretty comfortable in this defensive line.
Hayden Huber's out. Samantha Fogg in for the first time for the Hoosiers. He'll use senior defensive specialist with a nice serve. Left side of the swing by Gerback. Tried to find the corner, and she did. I think it hit the down official over there, and so that shot by Gerback goes long, and we're tied at 8.
Gerback is still struggling to make any kind of offensive momentum behind her. If I was Britt Bomber, I would not be setting her. I would look to Viscuso in this point.
A bit of a tough stretch for Ella Gerback of late. Another nice serve from Fogg, but Pitsis is able to control. On the left side, another swing by Gerback, blocked again. Northwestern controls. The pipe set for Robinson, off the tape, off hands and down. Northwestern gets the side out.
Good save for Nia Robinson to kind of settle Northwestern's offense there. But again, Britt Bomber gave the ball to Gerback, who is really struggling to get any kind of momentum behind her swing. If I was Britt Bomber, I would be looking to other options right now.
Robinson now 10 kills on 22 swings with 1 error. It's a .409 hit percentage. And the ever-reliable Nia Robinson into double figures in kills for the 11th time this season. Western has only played, or beg your pardon, the 23rd time this season, I should say. That makes a little bit more sense. Cats up by 1, the right side swing by Asdell. She goes cross-court and finds the hands, and we're tied up at 9 apiece.
Asdell had a huge gap in the block there, tons of daylight to swing away to. She didn't even have to make that aggressive of a swing to find the floor because the floor was not being covered adequately by Northwestern's block.
Make sure I was totally clear. 23 times Nia Robinson has been in double-figure kills. Elizabeth Asdell had a career season last year. This year she has about 100 fewer kills than she did in all of last season. Allie Lindroth back in for the Cats for the first contact on that Indiana serve. Nice swing by Cannon, but the Hoosiers able to control. Left side swing by Malloy. She's blocked. Gerback was there, and so was Olivia Viscuso. Another block for Northwestern, and it's a 10-9 lead.
Viscuso has been anchoring that blocking line up there. She's doing a great job getting from pin to pin, and she is an undersized blocker at just around 6 feet tall. So she is really timing the ball well as an undersized blocker.
4th total block for Olivia Viscuso. That leaves all players on the floor. Sarah Johnson didn't time that serve very well and hit it as it was already coming down. She sent it into the base of the net. We're tied at 10.
It was a pretty bad miss from Sarah Johnson, who's usually one of Northwestern's better servers. She hit the nice float ball, but that one just dropped way early.
It's been her calling card for the last couple of years, her defense and her serve. The latter let her down right there, all tied at 10. In the middle of the set for Viscuso, who gets on the board another way. Her first kill of the ball game, and it's 11-10.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit late for Viscuso to be getting just her first kill. I would have liked to see Bomber work her in earlier. And she's back at the service line now, but hopefully when she rotates back up to the front, Bomber will get her more involved. She's doing a great job blocking, and you have to reward a middle who is doing such a great job defensively.
Both middles are on either side are doing very well offensively. Walker and Viscuso combined for 5 kills on 10 swings, no errors. And on the other side, Hayden Hubers and Deisha Lofton have combined for 10 kills on 18 swings, no errors for either middle. Cats up by 1 in set 2. Viscuso to serve, middle of the set for Lofton, and get a great look on it, and Cannon sends it over on the overpass. Indiana controls again, another weird swing attempt from Lofton, and this time she gets it to fall. Another poor link up that time with Lofton in the setter, this time with Brizak.
It seems like Lofton setters just aren't aware of how high she can jump. If you have a player who is that tall and that athletic, you need to give her the air time so that she can reach for the ball and really make a good contact on it.
I think they would know how good Lofton is. She's top 10 in the conference in hit percentage and blocks per set. All square at 11 here in the second. Cannon goes high off the hands on the left side of the Indiana defense. Edwards was the only blocker over there, and Cannon exploited it.
What a push from Bomber. She was all the way on the left side pin, but she was able to flip it back to Aubriana Cannon, who took, again, that nice sharp cross swing. That's actually something that we haven't seen as much from Britt Bomber. She usually takes the ball where it's given to her, but that time she changed the momentum of the court and flipped it back behind her head.
Mentioned a bit of a slow start for Cannon. She's doing really well now. 7 kills, hitting almost 420. Cats up by 1 in set 2. Right side of the swing by Johnson, and Walker and Robinson couldn't quite get there in enough time. Lexi Johnson terminates. We're tied at 12.
Johnson is another player who Indiana usually looks to for a lot of good swings on the right side, but she's been pretty quiet in this set. So Indiana is going to be looking right now with Abigail Westenhofer in to serve for some more offense out of different players.
All tied at 12. Westenhofer goes cross court. Northwestern controls on the slide. Walker dug out by Indiana. Hubers out of the middle once again, and she finishes it once again. 7th kill for Hayden Hubers, and Indiana takes the lead.
Indiana has been working really hard in the past couple of points to their middles to work that gap set, that set to the middle that's in between the middle of the court and the outside. It's really hard for Northwestern to defend it.
Westenhofer just barely gets it over the net. Northwestern in system though. Bomber on the left side for Nia Robinson. Bread and butter, folks. We're tied at 13.
And it looks like Indiana's blocker just got tied up trying to block Britt Bomber. Wasn't sure she was going to dump the ball. And that left Nia Robinson with just one blocker and pretty much the whole court to swing at.
Match high 11 kills for Nia Robinson. The Cats are hitting .318 thus far in this set. Robinson now to serve, tied at 13. In the middle, Hubers blocked this time by Walker. Indiana is there for it. Left sided swing by Edwards. She finds the floor between Lee and Robinson, and Edwards finishes off another one, her 6th kill.
Smart offense from Westenhofer. That middle just got that block on the gap, but then she was able to shoot it over to the right side where Edwards was ready to swing.
That balanced offense come into play once again. 10 assists for Brizak, 10 for Westenhofer, 16 for Britt Bomber. 14-13 Indiana in set 2. Bomber left side going for Gerbach, up by Edwards with 2 hands. Left side Malloy off the hands of Bomber and out past Shane Davis and out of play. Another kill for Malloy. And it's a timeout on the floor for Northwestern. A mini run for Indiana. They lead 15-13. Western hitting .271 in the match today. It's 15-13 Indiana in set number 2. Overpass on the serve by Lexi Pitsis, and Malloy finishes it off. Grimaces a little bit. Not the cleanest play ever for Malloy. She's able to get the kill.
Lexi Pitsis is a much better passer in defense than she is servicing, but that's still a pretty unusual error for her to be overpassing on a not that aggressive of a serve from Edwards.
6th kill of the game for Malloy. Indiana by 3 in set 2. Bomber trying to get the side out of the pipe set for Nia Robinson. And too hot for Edwards to handle. Asdell runs all the way over towards our neck of the woods and ran out of real estate. Northwestern gets the side out.
That pipe set has worked for Nia Robinson every time. That time she was a little bit off center from the middle and she was still able to make a really good contact on the ball.
Match high 12 kills for Nia Robinson. Now lead to serve. Northwestern trying to get a little bit of a run going. Good serve. Edwards first contact. Right side swing by Asdell. Over the solo block attempt by Gerbach. That'll work every time for Indiana. Asdell finishes it off 17-14. 3rd kill of the game for Elizabeth Asdell. She's hitting .286. Hoosiers hitting .375 in this frame, .280 in the match. Cats overall .283. Really balanced contest so far. Hits this on the first contact for the Cats. Gerback on the swing, through the block of Lofton and down, and maybe that'll get her going. First kill of the game for Ella Gerback.
Something that we haven't talked about tonight is Northwestern's passing. And I think, again, they're doing a really good job. They've improved every match in terms of passing this season, and now they're looking very comfortable in their service eve line. The setters are less unsure about where the ball is going to go out of their passers' hands.
Britt Bomber already into a double-double. We're just halfway through set number 2. Left side swing by Malloy. Northwestern Reserve, I think it was Bomber, was ready for that swing too. Now a cross-court blast from Cannon. She thought she got the line. Bomber thought she got the line. Indiana thought otherwise. They say the play went out. Davis heads over to his bench. Kevin Moore in the area. Davis picks up the green card, and he will show it to the down official. Davis is going to challenge that ruling.
Smart.
And it's a point for the Hoosiers. Cannon's shot did indeed go long. Northwestern not really pleased with the decision, but Davis not really arguing too much further. So the call stands. It's 18-15 in favor of Indiana.
Either way, I still think Northwestern has a little bit of an edge in this set in terms of momentum, not necessarily the score. Indiana is still very much like the underdog in this match in terms of energy and hustle. So Northwestern just needs to make a good side out. And it looks like Shane Davis has put in Allie Lindroth for Nia Robinson, even though she's been hitting so out of the back row. So I guess they're looking for just a little bit more passing consistency.
On the other side, Lexi Johnson and Victoria Brizak in for the Hoosiers. Brizak will serve, targeting Allie Lindroth, who's just barely able to swing out of the way and avoid that serve from Brizak. Another service error. The Cats get the side out.
Sometimes all you really need to do is change the look and give them the heads of the server if you change the look of the lineup, because then she has to pick, does she want to go with the new player or does she want to try something else?
Now Sarah Johnson will serve, and she gives the point right back. Serves it straight into the net. A lot of force on that one. The timing was a little bit off.
And that was just a waste of good strategy from Coach Shane Davis. Again, Sarah Johnson, that was her second miss. Pretty surprising. She's a really consistent server. 9
combined service errors for these two teams. 1 ace. In the middle, Olivia Viscuso. That'll get you back onto the right foot. Nice set by Bomber, and Viscuso finishes it off. Cats down 19-17.
That's only Viscuso's second kill. They don't use her that much offensively, but she's been blocking so well and playing so much defense that she should definitely be getting a lot of looks in the front row as well.
It's .335 for the season, hitting 2 out of 4 for a 500 clip thus far today. Cats down by 2, and Indiana responds with a swing in their own middle. Disha Lofton shows why she's one of the better ones in the conference. The blast, Shane Davis has to duck out of the way to get away from the Cara, and Indiana first to 20.
Not much you can do about that. It was a great contact between the setter and the middle. And if Indiana was able to get that connection between the middle and the setter more consistently, they would be doing a lot of damage right now.
Bailey Lebo, a really solid server for the Hoosiers, back to do so. She can't handle that blast by Robinson. And that shot from Nia hit Bailey Lebo up high. Stunned her a little bit, might have gotten her in the face in the back left corner for the Hoosier defense. And Lebo, her back on the floor here at Welsh Ryan. Scary moment here at Welsh Ryan. Is for the second time today we have an injured player on the floor. Bailey Lebo was able to walk off the floor and head over to the end of her team's bench under her own power. She's sitting in the last chair next to the Gatorade cooler. She's still being looked at. She is cognizant, looks to be okay. Nora Meehan will take her place for the time being in the Hoosier back row. Her first action today. Puts a little bit of a damper on that run of play. And Nia Robinson, the big kill to get Northwestern within 2. Alana Walker had an injury scare in the first set for Northwestern. Bailey Lebo, an indispensable part of the Hoosier success this season. Younger sister of former Hoosier standout Taylor Lebo, who was one of the best to do it at the libero position for a couple of years. Good defender, great server. Her little sister has had the best defensive season, perhaps in Hoosier history. She's on the bench right now. We're quickly back underway. The game goes on. Cats by 2, helter-skelter play. Brizak swipes at it. She can't quite get a piece of it. She got a little bit, not enough. Another kill for Nia Robinson, her 14th. The Cats are within 1.
Smart shot from Nia Robinson, but Indiana looks fired up, and they are ready to defend Bailey Lebo's spot right now, even though she's not on the court.
Just like Northwestern did in the first set with Alana Walker. The Cats were able to rally, and of course Walker finished off that first set for the Cats. Low serve for Cannon off the top of the tape and onto the floor. Nora Meehan just into the match. Couldn't get down to it. A service ace for Cannon. We're tied at 20, and Steve Aird has seen it up. 3-0 mini run for the Cats. Broken up by that injury timeout. We are all square at 20 apiece. The team has looked a lot better under his first year at the helm. All square at 20 apiece in set number 2. Brizak pushes it left side. Edwards goes long, but got a touch on her way there. Indiana takes the 21-20 lead.
That's exactly the swing Edwards was looking for. Neon made a really nice pass, and Brizak adjusted. It was a little bit spinny, but Edwards took a big, heavy swing. She's got a pretty heavy arm. Not a lot of spin on the ball, but definitely a heavy arm and really tough for Northwestern's defense to dig the ball. So now we are off to the races in this game to 5 here.
Megan Core is in to serve again for the Hoosiers. Not used all that much, but she's in to serve here as this rotation comes around. Robinson with the roll shot. Indiana was there. Northwestern able to control though again as Robinson gets another swing. Up in the back by Malloy. Tip shot by Hubers. Bomber controls. Lee sets it left side. A big swing by Robinson. Another dig by Malloy. Kors runs all the way into her own bench to get to it. And Meehan with an admirable attempt to send it over, but just too deep on that shot by Robinson. The Cats tie it up at 21.
What a smart rally from Robinson. She swung and then she drove in hard and tipped. And there is no one on Indiana's defense there. It was just a lucky save from the Indiana blockers to be able to force it back over. And then Robinson took another big swing. So mixing up her shots is a really good strategy for Nia Robinson.
15 kills on the match. Nobody else has more than 7. Tied at 21. On the slide, Hayden Hubers sends it long. Her first error of the game. Brizak arguing immediately. She said there was a touch. Ella Gerbach was in the area for the Cats. The up official says no dice. Brizak turns back to look at him again. Now Steve Aird getting in on the action as well. He's mad. Doesn't really like it. Says there's absolutely a touch. Now he's heading back over to his side of the bench. And he's picked up his own green card and he'll give it to the down official and we'll have another challenge. They played pretty well so far. Here comes the call and it's overturned. So Indiana wins that challenge. Shane Davis looking to get a little bit of an explanation from the down official. Steve Aird will want one as well, but he's pleased with the ruling, and the call is overturned. It's 22-21 in favor of Indiana.
It was a pretty long stoppage of play. That's one of the biggest complaints about the challenge system is that sometimes it takes a while to determine which call is the correct call. But Steve Aird has to be pretty pleased with that one. They're now ahead of Northwestern in a significant turning point in the match. If Northwestern is a little bit cold after what has been essentially a timeout and just a complete stoppage of play.
Really good offense from both teams in this second set. Both teams with 2 blocks. Northwestern hitting 375. Indiana hitting a flat 400. Cats just over 300 for the match. Hoosiers just under. 22-21 for the visitors in set 2. Good serve from Edwards. Overpass coming from the Cats. Northwestern able to control the swing by Hubers. Left side swing by Gerbach. She's back on the board. We're tied at 22. Second kill of the game for Ella Gerbach.
And credit Bomber for that point. She made a really smart turn on the block when the ball was an overpass. Usually an overpass is a free point for the other team, but Bomber got up and was big on the net, and then she was able to recover off her own block and able to start the play for Northwestern.
And so Steve Aird calls his second and final timeout of the set as Northwestern might have seized that momentum back. Do you like this choice from Steve Aird instead of letting Northwestern perhaps get on her own and tries to stem the tide before it even breaks out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a smart decision. I mean, what else are you going to save your timeout for? The game is winding down. He might as well take it now, reset the clock. It's 22-22, so again, the game is pretty much starting over, and it's just whoever wins 3 points first has the match, has the set.
Of course, you have to win by 2, but it is first to 25 in the first 4 sets. Should we go 5, the fifth will be first to 15. It's 22 apiece here in set number 2. It's been a really good game so far, as we said. Indiana had the better of Northwestern in pretty much all facets of the game in their last meeting, though it must be said, Northwestern was without Nia Robinson and Aubriana Kennan both for that match, so Gerbach and Hannah Lisiak and a bunch of other Northwestern players had to step in. Alana Walker, those players had to step up. Northwestern was down its top 2 hitters. It's tough to beat any team, even a solid team like Indiana. Not the best team in the conference, no one's saying that, but it's tough to beat any team if you're down your top 2 offensive weapons.
Yeah, this is a totally different Northwestern team. Indiana hasn't seen them all season simply because that lineup is totally different. And Northwestern is looking a lot more confident now that they have those 2 hitters back in. But and Kennan and Robinson are both hitting really well both are hitting above 300 in this match.
Combined for 22 of Northwestern's 30 kills. Shows you just how important they are. Back underway, tied at 22. Number 22, Cameron Malloy with a swing on the left side over the block of Bomber in front of the outstretched hands of Lee, and Indiana wins the point.
Such a smart shot from Malloy. She may not be the most powerful hitter, but she took a little bit off that swing, rolled it off the block, and Michelle Lee just wasn't able to scoot up fast enough to pick it up.
Meehan off, course still on, and Huber's now to serve. Goes back left for Cannon. Gerback has to get the second contact. In the back row, the swing by Robinson, up by Coors. Left side swing by Malloy, not a lot on it. In the middle, Robinson has to hustle to it and just bump it over. Indiana in system, right side on the slide. Disha Lofton finishes it off once again between the block of Gerback and Viscuso. And it's set point now for the Hoosiers, and Shane Davis will use his last timeout. Indiana liked their matchups against Northwestern in years past, with Megan Tolman running the offense, Jasmine McDonald operating out of the middle. They're both gone. Victoria Brizak had to stand in for Tolman the latter half of the season 2 years ago, and she's been here running the setter system since. Set point for the Hoosiers with Samantha Fogg on serve. They send it back over. Northwestern will control it. On the left side, the swing by Gerback. High off hands. Edwards controls for the Hoosiers. In the middle, the set by Lofton, and she's blocked. Gerback slides over into the middle. Viscuso is there. The first hitting error from Disha Lofton, and the Cats survive one set point.
And I was worried there because Britt Bomber gave a set to Ella Gerback, who hasn't been hitting well. When it's tight, you need to give it to the player who is hitting well consistently, but Gerback made a huge play stepping in to help block that middle.
One set point saved. Bomber to serve, now on the left side, the swing by Malloy, and she gets it through the block of Viscuso and down. The Northwestern block just a little bit too late. Cameron Malloy finishes off set number 2, 25-23. The same score, but in reverse, and we're tied at a set apiece. Both teams suffering some injuries, as we've seen, and Bailey Lebo has not returned to the floor as of yet for the Hoosiers. Megan Coors has swapped out her jersey. She switched it from white to red. We saw Nora Meehan take Lebo's place ostensibly down the stretch of that second set. And like you said, Mila, they didn't suffer too much, but Coors is going to don the red jersey, at least for the time being, and try to man the back row for the Hoosiers. So Coors, Brizak, Edwards, Lexi Johnson, Lofton, and Malloy on the floor for the Hoosiers. Bomber, Cannon, Viscuso, Robinson, Sarah Johnson, and Michelle Lee for the Cats. We are underway in set 3. Malloy with the first serve of the set. Cannon takes away the second contact from Lee, and Robinson bumps it over. Lofton first touch. Brizak back set for Lexi Johnson. Lee has to dive to get a piece of it, and Sarah Johnson dives to get the second contact, and there's no chance for Bomber to handle it. Good effort by Sarah Johnson, but Lexi Johnson, no relation, got just enough on it for the first point.
Unusual ball handling error from Michelle Lee. She was a little bit slow on her run-through pass, and she didn't get her platform up high enough to redirect that ball back towards the target, and thus it went behind her head.
Not been a perfect first year in Evanston for Michelle Lee, but she's still top 15 in the conference in digs per set as a true freshman. Back underway, 1-0 Indiana. Robinson goes off the table, the left side swing, and Brizak couldn't handle it in the back right corner. All square, one apiece. 16 kills for Nia Robinson.
Northwestern and both sides looking a little discombobulated right now. Robinson kind of a little bit wonky approach there. She also hit that ball into the net, and Michelle Lee with an unusual ball handling error. So they just got to settle down and let this match unfold.
All square in the early stages of set 3. Viscuso to serve for the Cats. Brizak pushes to the left side. Tip shot from Edwards. Nice choice there. Bomber couldn't dive forward to get to it, and Edwards finishes it off for 8th, bigger pardon. Yep, I was right the first time. 8th kill of the match. She's got 8, Schubers has 8, and Malloy has 8. Lofton has 7. Another balanced effort for the Hoosiers. A big serve by Coors, back left, going back left. She sends it too long. Another service error.
And that is a good spot to look to, those deep corners. She just overshot it a little bit. The ball needed to drop. And now is in this set, we're really going to see if not having Bailey Lebo in is going to make any kind of difference for Indiana. And there's already one respect where it has in the service.
2-2 here in set 3. Match tied at 1 apiece. Lexi Pitsis now to serve for the Cats. She targets Coors back right. On the left side, swing by Edwards. She goes cross court and sends it too far. Sarah Johnson ducks out of the way, and the Cats win the point.
Edwards doesn't have the prettiest technique, but she is a powerful hitter, so when her approach gets messed up, it kind of amplifies her technical insufficiencies, and that's exactly what happened there.
Cats up 3-2. Pitsis to serve again. Back middle for Malloy. Brizak in the middle. Hubers with the wrist away. She's wristed too far away. Tried to go left side line and sent it too far out. First attack error for Hayden Hubers.
Indiana hasn't made that many hitting errors. Like I said, they were hitting at 300, which is really good for a team. So this is kind of a slow start for them in this set as well.
Indiana averages just 207. Overpass on that serve, sent over by Coors. And on the right side, slide by Walker. Diving up by Brizak, she sends it over. Bomber left side back to Robinson. Malloy tries to get a piece of it, and she did get a piece of it. Couldn't get out of the way until it was too late, and Robinson finishes it off again.
Great shot from Mia Robinson. She has that little extra pop in her arm swing today that is putting the ball down with no players ready to dive for it.
For the 10th time this year, Nia Robinson is over 15 kills in the match. She stands at 17. Pitsis with a float serve, just gets it over. Brizak, right side, Lexi Johnson, high swing. Lee can't quite handle it. Pitsis with a good effort. It's too far out of her reach. The Hoosiers get the side out.
This set has started a little bit dirty, a little bit messy on both sides of the court. They're really trying to grit it out right now and make a point as to where the direction of this match should be going.
That stops that 4-0 run for Northwestern. It's been about as long as the runs have been on either side so far. Right side slide by Alana Walker on the set by Bomber, and that is easy money for Alana Walker. She finishes it off again, 6-3.
That slide is just Alana Walker's bread and butter. She gets out there so fast and is able to elevate so high off of that 1 foot that she can see the whole court and can really choose what location she wants to put the ball. 5
kills on 10 swings for Walker today. Robinson to serve. Left side, Brianna Edwards tips it over. Lee is there. Bomber has to run a long way to get to it and sets it up left side for Gerbach. Good shot that time. She finds the floor. Ella Gerbach maybe in a little bit of a rhythm now. 3 kills to go against her 3 errors.
And finally, we see Gerbach is kind of working back in. She's hitting 0 now, so maybe she can kind of turn around the trajectory of this match for her.
No kills on 7 swings in the first set, 2 on 8 in the second. 7-3 Northwestern in the third. Edwards on the left side, rejected by Bomber. Walker was there as well, and Brianna Edwards is stonewalled. And a good start to set number 3. Both the first 2 sets were about as even as they come. The Cats up by 5 here in the third. Robinson to serve again, targeting Coors back right. In the middle, Hubers blocked by Walker. Gerbach was there to help, and Hayden Hubers rejected by her opposite middle.
What a great read from Alana Walker to scoot over to the gap. That's a play that historically Northwestern has struggled to defend. It's that gap set that the middle hits between the middle of the court and the left side of the court. 4
total blocks now for Alana Walker. Solo block that time. And they'll whistle Abigail Westenhofer on that play. Tried to set on the right side, go back cross court, and Westenhofer is whistled.
She was definitely in the net there. The pass was really tight, but she's got to control her body, maybe turn her hips and just set the ball to the right side instead of forcing that set all the way to the outside.
Biggest lead by either team today. It's 10-3 in favor of Northwestern. Coors on the first contact. Westenhofer back left side to swing by Elizabeth Asdill. Don't see her over there too often, but this time it works for the Hoosiers. They get the side out, stem the tie.
Asdill has been pretty quiet this match and also this whole season, but that was a smart shot using Northwestern's block to wipe the ball all the way across the court and out of bounds.
4 kills, hitting .375 now, the senior Elizabeth Asdill. 10-4 now in favor of the Cats. Walker has to reach back on that slide attempt. Not the most perfect set ever from Bomber, but Walker's able to make the most out of it. 11-4.
As far as tips go, that was pretty smart timing from Alana Walker. The set was behind her head, and she had to reach back for it, but she had been pounding the ball and pounding the ball and pounding the ball, so now it's definitely the time to work in some tips and mix it up so that the defense isn't able to predict where you're going to put the ball.
25 assists for Britt Bomber. Westenhofer has to hustle over. Bump set left side for Malloy. She rolls it over. Lee is there. Cats in system. Left side big swing from Gerbach. And Malloy with a brilliant shot. Pushes it over on the first contact. Indiana was there to stop up the shot from Gerbach. And Malloy found the back right corner.
Really smart shot from Malloy. That's something you see on the beach a lot when they can see that the players haven't gotten back to their base positions. They just take it back over on one and win that point with no contest.
Really smart shot from Malloy. It's now 11-5, and Samantha Fogg will come in and serve. She goes cross-court, targets Pitts' back left. Now Viscuso will try the slide, and Malloy is once again there, a solo block on the left side of the Indiana defense, stopping Olivia Viscuso in her tracks.
It wasn't a bad option from Bomber to go back behind her head to Viscuso, but Malloy is really on her game right now, all the way around, passing, blocking, hitting, making some smart shots.
Fogg again to serve and targeting Gerbach as she backpedaled to get out of the way, and Fogg missed the right side of the line. That gets the side out for the Cats. It's 12-6.
And that's an unfortunate error from Fogg. That was a really good opportunity to make a little bit of a push. Indiana now beats Northwestern out on service errors. They've got 6 and Northwestern only has 5.
Still no aces as well for the Hoosiers. Maybe that's because Bailey Lebo is off the floor. She is on the edge of her team's bench, though, standing up. Lofton gets the swing for the Hoosiers. Northwestern is there. Bomber pushes it left side. Gerbach cocks and fires. Up back middle by Edwards. Now Malloy rushes into a tip. Bomber swings it over. Asdill on first contact. What a dig by Lee. And now Cannon on the second contact finishes it off. Lee with a great defensive play, and Cannon rewards her with a kill.
That's a heads-up shot from Aubriana Cannon. Britt Bomber is struggling to get up off the ground, and it makes so much more sense on that ball that was practically a set to the opposite pin for Aubriana Cannon to go up and put the ball away.
12 digs and now 7 assists for Michelle Lee. Good all-around game for her. Nice dig on the serve by Coors. The blast by Asdell. Robinson runs a long way, gets a hand on it, but no chance enough Wildcats could get to it to send it over, and Asdell gets the kill. We've seen a lot of players run into those end wall bleachers here so far this evening.
Asdell is now making her voice known in this set. She's up to 5 kills. She's actually hitting 400, so she had been a little bit quiet, a little bit under the radar, but she might be able to get some offense going for Indiana as they're trying to make a push to catch back up to Northwestern.
Brzak now to serve. She targets Allie Lindroth fresh into the match for the Cats. On the right side, Gerbach with the swing, and she simply sends it long. A little touch in the vicinity that time, and a point for the Hoosiers.
And we had seen Ella Gerbach get 2 kills early on in this set. We thought she was kind of coming back and recovering, but she's back in the negative hitting percentage right now with that error.
Maybe looks a little bit out of place there on that right side of the offense. 13-8, Cats though still ahead. Now on the left side, Cannon rejected by Lofton, but out of play, off the block and down, or out rather, and Cannon gets the kill.
Good push from Britt Bomber. She was already all the way backed up to the right side pin, so she just shoved it all the way back over to the left side pin, gave Aubriana Cannon plenty of time to line up and see the block and use the block to her advantage for the tool.
Gave the block time to set up, but Cannon was able to tool off of it. Johnson just barely gets that serve over for the Cats. They're up by 6. Tip shot coming from Lofton, and Viscuso just smacks it over. What a play that time from Olivia Viscuso. With a nice play on the second contact, finishes it off.
Viscuso has looked so heads up at the net tonight, making some smart shots, taking the dump when it needs to be taken, but I also think Britt Bomber deserves a lot of credit for the defensive effort that she's put in tonight.
Reliable hitter for the Cats, hits .333 this season, and that's exactly what she's hitting today. 15-8 Northwestern. The shot on the left side blocked by Cannon. Northwestern able to control it. Bomber goes right back to Viscuso in the middle, and Olivia Viscuso finishes off another one. It's 16-8.
Great transition from Olivia Viscuso. She's been looking for that ball in the one spot all night long, and Britt Bomber has been giving it to her sparingly, but at exactly the right moments. Yeah, the defense has looked really confident here, and I think, again, Britt Bomber, as a setter playing defense, is doing a really great job back there.
Sarah Johnson now to serve the Cats at 16-8 in set 3. Lofton has to adjust, and she's able to get it down. Johnson and Lee in the area for the Cats. Smart play, going back to the tried and true method with Deisha Lofton on the right side. Indiana stems the tide a little bit.
That off-speed attack that Lofton has been hitting into the middle of the court has given Northwestern problems all night long.
Now Cameron Malloy back to serve. She targets Sarah Johnson back middle. Bomber pushes it left side, roll shot by Robinson. She went outside the antenna, a rare mistake, and Indiana gets the point. 16-10 now in favor of the Wildcats. We mentioned that variety on the Hoosier offense. They've got 4 players with 8 or more kills. Northwestern has just 2. A liner by Malloy. Bomber has to run over and bump it over on the right side for Cannon, and a bit of a mistake. We've seen that out of her a couple of times this season. She air-mailed it on the right side. 3 straight points for the Hoosiers, and Shane Davis will use a timeout of his own.
So she definitely looks a lot more confident. And I think that blocks and service aces that you mentioned before are 2 important categories for Northwestern. They always play best when they're doing well in those categories.
And at 16-14, they've already clinched a winning record, trying to get back into the 3rd set. And another good serve from Malloy. Goes back middle against Sarah Johnson. And finally, there's that first service ace, as if on cue.
And Cameron Malloy has been doing it all. She's getting kills, she's getting digs, blocking, and now the first ace for Indiana.
Really good all-around game for the sophomore from Roselle, Illinois. Bomber has to hustle to get a long way to get to that second contact. Malloy first there for the Hoosiers. A blast in the middle. Deisha Lofton. A 5-0 run now for Indiana. It's 16-13.
And Northwestern should be getting a little worried right now. It is time for them to make a big side out and a push on the offense. Looking a little discombobulated. Indiana is really feeling it on their attacks.
Malloy to serve once again. Dive by Lee. She sends it right to the net, and Deisha Lofton is there to finish off the overpass. A 6-0 Hoosier run, and Shane Davis has to use his second and final timeout. A really good all-around game for the junior middle. It's now over 10 kills for the 13th time this season. Indiana quickly within 2. It looked like Northwestern was pulling away. Hoosier said, not so fast. Malloy back to serve again. The left side, Nia Robinson, and that is your run breaker for Northwestern. Bomber back to the tried and true method. The left side, Nia Robinson with her 18th kill, and the Cats stop the run.
Exactly what they needed, and it all started with a perfect pass from Sarah Johnson. It was a really tough, high, deep serve, but she got her platform right under the ball and back to target.
17-14 now, the Cats on top. Good serve from Viscuso. Right side of the swing by Johnson, has to go high to get it down. Viscuso on second contact. Bump set left side for Robinson, and Malloy is having a good match, but could not handle it that time. Robinson with back-to-back points.
And that definitely didn't look like it should fall on the Indiana side. It was just a roll shot from Nia Robinson. Ball handling error on Indiana's side. They're going to regret that later.
Chalk it up as an assist for Olivia Viscuso. Cannon's got a couple as well for the Cats. Northwestern back up by 4. In the middle shot by Lofton. Rejected by Alana Walker. Cannon in the area as well, but a stuff by Walker on Lofton.
And again, the setters for Indiana just didn't give Lofton the ball high enough. She really had to crouch down and drop her elbow to get that ball. There's just no way she can hit the ball over a block if the set's going to be that low.
Quickly, Northwestern reestablishes a 5-point lead. It's 19-14. Coors to Brizak in the middle for Lexi Johnson. A rare swing out of the middle. She tried to go right sideline. She sent it too long. Another attack error. The Cats are first to 20.
I like the play choice by Brizak, sometimes throwing up the 2 in the middle to an outside hitter, just in telling them to just do whatever you can with the ball is really smart, but that error is not what they're looking for.
20-14 Northwestern. Coors again the first touch. She's got the libero jersey on the right side slide for Lofton. Overpass, she'll try it again. Sarah Johnson is there. Left side for Robinson, goes line, finds it. Brizak couldn't handle it, and Nia Robinson with 3 kills in the last 5 points.
And credit Olivia Viscuso with both a serve and a great one-arm sliding dig. And it confused Lofton. The ball came over and she couldn't decide whether she wanted to attack it or just play it back in her system. And she ended up just giving an easy roll shot over. 3 points for Northwestern.
20 kills for Nia Robinson. The match so far today. Cats 4 points away. Lofton now on the right side again. Got the touch that time. Indiana stems the tie with another kill from their junior middle, Deisha Lofton.
And the libero for Indiana is going back to serve now, who's in for Bailey Lebo. She missed her last serve. It went just too long, and so this is a really critical moment for her to make a good serve. Not only make one good serve, but go on a run here in order to control Northwestern's momentum.
Megan Coors played 96 sets coming into today. Junior DS from Indianapolis, donning that red libero jersey in place of Bailey Lebo, who is out with the rest of her team standing up on the right part of the Indiana sideline, which is a good sign, I'm sure, for Hoosier fans. Left side big shot by Robinson. She found the hand, she did not. Too much on that swing that time from Nia. She sends it long, 21-16.
Northwestern's still feeling comfortable right now. They just need one call, one pass, one side out.
Coors back to serve again from the back left corner. Goes cross-court against Sarah Johnson. Bomber pushes it back right side. Good swing by Cannon. Indiana couldn't handle it in the back right. Looked like Malloy, and Cannon finishes it off, her 10th kill of the game.
And a great set from Britt Bomber. She was again pulled all the way to the left side, and she switched the momentum of the court, sent it back to Aubriana Cannon, who had the sharp cross shot open all day.
11th time this season that Aubriana Cannon has been in double digits in kills. She's hitting .333 to boot. Now Lexi Pitsis will serve. Northwestern 3 points away in set 3. Brizak has to hustle to get a bump set on the left side for Edwards. Sarah Johnson there. Bomber pushes it left side. Robinson off the hands of Lexi Johnson, and Pitsis controls. Bomber at the net. Right side. Walker rejected on a solo block by Edwards. Now left side. Robinson pushes it over. Brizak couldn't handle it. Malloy tries to. She couldn't handle it either. Nia Robinson absolutely on fire in set 3. Northwestern 2 points away.
Such a smart tip from Nia Robinson. She's been pounding the ball aggressively every time on the outside pin, and that time she just takes all the speed off of it and gives a nice, easy tip down the line. 5th
time this season that Nia Robinson has been at 20 kills or more. 23-16 Northwestern in the middle. Hubers rejected on a solo block by Alana Walker. Neither of the Indiana middles had any errors, or many, coming into this set. They can't find any room in the later stages.
And Walker's doing a great job blocking. She's got 6 touches on the block there. That's really great for this match.
That leads all players, and now set point for Northwestern at 24-16. Brizak, left side for Edwards, a blast. Nice up by Pitsis, but she sends it over on the first contact. Brizak right back to Edwards, rejected by Britt Bomber and Alana Walker, and Northwestern takes set 3, 25-16.
In the first 2 sets, they have been pretty even, hitting around 230, 250, and then in the second, both hitting just a bit above 300. But in the set 3, Northwestern hit 360, while Indiana only hit 67. They just couldn't get anything going there, but they did in the middle of that set. They did start to pull it back, Northwestern was able to shut it down, but Indiana might still have some of that energy going into this third set.
Nia Robinson having a standout match. She's hitting .450. That would be her best hit percentage since she hit .370 in that big game at Iowa. That was the Britt Bomber 69 assist game. That's top 10 in Northwestern history for most assists in a game. Robinson had 26 kills, hit .370 in that game. Britt Bomber not quite at 69 assists today, but she does have 32 with 17 digs. And Robinson has 21 kills and a .450 hit percentage. Deisha Lofton, the same hit percentage on the other side for the Hoosiers, .450 with 11 kills. But Robinson has had an absolutely fantastic evening. She might close her season here today. Sarah Johnson to serve for Northwestern. We're underway. Megan Coors still wearing the red libero jersey for the Hoosiers. Lee in the middle for Bomber. Now left side, Robinson couldn't get a good wood on that one. Pushes it right at Deisha Lofton, and Indiana wins the first point.
Not the best set to Nia Robinson. It was low, tight, and inside, and with a huge block on top of her. There was almost nothing she could do with that ball to make it better.
Megan Coors now back to serve from the right corner for the Cats, or beg your pardon, for the Hoosiers. She goes cross court against Sarah Johnson. Bomber in the middle. Viscuso rejected one-on-one by Hubers. Left side, Robinson goes cross court. Good up by Coors. Brizak pushes it left side on the bump set to Edwards, and Bomber casually controls it. Now Lee, left side swing by Robinson between Malloy and Coors in the back left corner. Nia Robinson picking up where she left off, 1-all.
And that out-of-system play has actually been Nia Robinson's best this whole night. When she gets that out-of-system set from Michelle Lee across the court, she is able to line her whole body up behind it and put all of her power against the ball.
Olivia Viscuso now back to serve the Cats. She's got 4 kills on 8 swings. Brizak with the bump set, left side. Edwards runs into it and runs into the wall. The swing on the left side, Alana Walker was there along with Aubriana Cannon. The 13th team block for Northwestern.
And that was, again, that was a trap set for Edwards too. Low, tight, inside, right against the Northwestern block. As a hitter, you kind of just have to hang on for dear life and hope you can make something happen up there or that the other blocker messes up. 8
total blocks for Alana Walker here this evening. Cats up 2-1. Another bump set, left side by Edwards. Got it over the block that time. Bomber. Now Johnson will set it right side. Cannon blocked by Hubers. And a diving play by Sarah Johnson to keep it alive. Robinson sends over a free ball. Brizak in the middle. Hubers off the block of Walker and Cannon and down. Indiana survives that rally. A good finish by Hubers.
Smart play from Brizak to run that gap. There was a lot of space between the setter and her middle attacker in that ball. That's exactly when you run the gap. Indiana's block is also making itself really known in this set, and that's given a lot of offensive opportunities.
Westenhofer and Asdale back on for the Hoosiers, all square at 2. Robinson rushes up to a set that was right at the net and pushes it off of Asdale's right arm and down. Robinson getting it done in all areas.
Not the best setting we're seeing on either side to the outside pins. All of those sets have been trap sets against the block, but finally Nia Robinson is able to wipe the ball off the block and let it go out. In that situation, that's pretty much the only thing you can do.
23 kills for Nia Robinson. .432. Now pitches to serve, her team up by 1 in set 4. Westenhofer on the left side set for Edwards, rejected by Walker. Not a great set, not a great swing, but a good block from Walker with Bomber in the vicinity. Cats by 2.
And again, another low, tight, right against the blocker set. They've got to make an adjustment really fast. This is really late in the match to be able to be making these kinds of poor sets.
Walker 10th in the conference in total blocks. She's got 9 so far today. Middle set off of the hands this time of Alana Walker, and Indiana's able to finish that one off. It's 4-3.
And there's that gap play again that Northwestern generally struggles to defend. Northwestern's blocker just don't necessarily read that the middle is going to be moving over to the block to the side fast enough to get up there and make a block. 10th
kill of the game for Hayden Hubers, and Brianna Edwards gives up a little bit of the momentum, sends that serve a little bit long, and the 8th service error of the game for the Hoosiers.
And now Ella Gerback is back on the court for Northwestern. She's really got to make a change to the offense that she's been given. She's up there with just Alana Walker and Britt Bomber, so she has to be powerful on the outside.
Robinson out of the back row to serve, and she finds the back line. A service ace for Nia Robinson. Her 17th of the season, and the Cats lead by 3 in set 4.
Really poor communication between Edwards and Indiana's libero there. It fell right between them. It was clearly going to drop and be in the court.
I agree, and Coors decided to get out of the way. She'll take it that time. Westenhofer in the middle set, and a tip shot by Hubers, and neither Leo nor Bomber were able to get to that one. Hubers is able to get the side out.
And back to the gap again. Hubers is looking really confident on that play. That time, though, she gave a tip right to the middle of the court that Northwestern hasn't been able to pick up all night. From all the options, every time a hitter on Indiana's side has tipped into the middle of the court, Northwestern hasn't really been able to pick it up. So that's a vulnerability Indiana should exploit.
Samantha Fogg back on to serve her last Indiana regular season game. The left side to swing by Gerback, diving up by Edwards, back middle. Right side to swing by Asdell, off the block of Gerback and down. Asdell finishes it off. It's 6-5 Northwestern.
And Asdell hasn't been a shining star in this Indiana's offense, but she's been pretty consistent. She's hitting .455, but really only like 11 attempts, which is pretty low to be in the fourth set.
Now Fogg to serve again, a low liner off the top of the tape, good up by Pitzes. On the slide, Walker again, good up by Fogg. Lofton somehow pushes it over. It might have been a carry. She got away with it. Now Walker back again, cross court on the slide, and Alana Walker finishes it off once again. Another finish by Walker, her 7th kill.
I love Bomber's decision making there. She went to Alana Walker, and Indiana was able to make a really good dig, but when the ball came back over, Bomber didn't even hesitate to give the ball right back to Alana Walker again, who is her biggest offensive weapon up there, and she was able to put it down with almost no block in front of her.
7 kills, no errors, a flat .500 hitting percentage for Alana Walker tonight. 7-5 for the Cats. Now Indiana responds, going middle again. Westenhofer for Tisha Lofton. That works. Has worked a lot more times than not today for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, and every time that Indiana is able to get that set high enough in the middle for Lofton to be able to extend her long arms up to it, then she's been successful. It's just when they have to make sure that they get the ball high enough for her.
Tisha Lofton working on one of the best hitting percentages this season in Indiana history, breaking a mark that was set by herself last year. Swing by Ella Gerback on the left side, off the hands and down. Edwards with a good attempt to try to get to it, but Gerback finds the back of the floor.
And finally, Gerback is able to put the ball down. She's gotten a good number of attempts, but not as many kills as she would like. She's now back to hitting 0. She had been hitting negative pretty much this whole match.
She's second on the team in attempts, believe it or not, with 21. Just behind Nia Robinson's 44. There's a serve in the back line, and in front of the Indiana back row, ace serve, Britt Bomber. Fourth service ace for the Cats.
Yeah, and Indiana just has 1 service ace, so that's a stat that's definitely heavily in favor of Northwestern. Really shows that they're much more serving much more aggressively than Indiana.
Northwestern gets twice as many aces this season as Indiana has. Yeah, just 66 coming in. There's a swing on the left side by Malloy. Good hustle by Gerback to keep it alive. And Lee will bump over a free ball. Kors, Brizak in the middle for Lofton. All 3 blockers were there again. Viscuso leading the 3-headed pack. And Lofton stuffed. Doesn't happen often. Northwestern there.
And that's definitely a play Northwestern had obviously scouted when they were looking at this Indiana team. They know that Lofton is a formidable force in the middle, and they realize that to protect their back line, they have to put 3 hitters up in front of her, and it worked out really well for them in that play.
A lot of offensive marks set in that game, like we said. Britt Bomber, 69 assists, 8th most in a match in Northwestern history. Robinson had a great game, and now Bomber back to serve. She sends it just long, the 6th service error of the match for the Cats, and it's 10-7.
And that was clearly a smart timeout for Indiana. Exactly the purpose of a timeout is to halt a run and make that server miss. That when you go off for an extended period of time, you start to get a little bit cold. You're not as confident in rhythm when you get back to the service line.
Cameron Malloy, who was on serve for that big Indiana run in the 3rd set, on to serve, and as if on cue, air mails it on her first contact. Dueling service errors, and Northwestern will take back over.
And that's just too bad because the strategy for Indiana had worked, and it was a missed opportunity for them right there. They had a big opening to kind of make a push up towards 10.
Now Sarah Johnson will serve, one of Northwestern's best servers. Targets Edwards back left, not a great pass. Brizak gets to it, goes back to Edwards. She almost airmailed it, but Sarah Johnson dove to try to make a play. Brianna Edwards will take that kill. It's 11-8.
Michelle Lee called out to Sarah Johnson, but Sarah Johnson dove for the ball anyway, and I think she was right to do so. It definitely looked like that ball was going to drop right inside the line.
9th kill of the game for Edwards. Now Indiana targets Johnson back right of the serve. Robinson with a blast, blocked by Hubers. Northwestern in control though. Bump set by Johnson. Robinson forks it over. Kors with the first touch. Brizak, left side the swing by Edwards, high off hands, and she finds the back corner. Back-to-back kills from Edwards. She's up to 10. Indiana within 2.
And it looks like Indiana's offense is just getting a little bit more confidence. They're starting to hit their stride there. You can always tell when Edwards is getting going that the offense is going to be doing well.
Straight points now for the Hoosiers as Cannon goes off hands. Malloy controls in the middle. Hubers pushes it over. Bomber with his first contact, now bumps it right side from Cannon, tries to find the line, and she goes just long. Unofficial rules long, looked like the right call. And another point for the Hoosiers. Shane Davis has seen enough. It's 11-10, Indiana on a run. Northwestern calls timeout. That balanced Indiana attack come into play as we previewed. 3 players with 10 or more kills. Cameron Malloy just outside that with 9. Northwestern has just 2 players in double figures, and unsurprisingly, that's Robinson and Cannon. Megan Kors back to serve for Indiana, down by just 1 in the 4th. Cannon, the right side on the set by Bomber, and she sends it long once again. Back-to-back errors by Cannon. Indiana has fought back on a 4-0 run to tie the set at 11 apiece.
That was practically the same shot from Cannon. She didn't make any adjustments when she really needed to.
Kors wasting little time. Targets Sarah Johnson back right. Bomber the bump set, and Robinson sends it into the net. Doesn't get it over. Hubers was there. Piece of the net fell off as well. Brzak will pick it up and store it back under the protective equipment. 5-0 run for the Hoosiers. They lead 12-11. Megan Kors back to serve, taking over for Bailey Lebo, who was injured in set 2. Another good serve reception by Johnson. Tough play for Bomber to handle, though, and Robinson has to roll it over. Brzak on the near side. Lexi Johnson, a blast. Tough for Northwestern to handle on the back right. Looked like Bomber that time, and Lexi Johnson finishes it off.
Bomber took that ball right to the face. She looks fine, but it's not good for morale when you take a ball right into the face and you're not able to recover it. So Shane Davis is taking another timeout. Indiana only 2 points ahead, but they don't want them to get any kind of momentum here. Northwestern really just wants to be able to pull out this match, of course.
Indiana up by 2 in set 4. Megan Kors back to serve again. Bomber on the left side looking for Robinson. Indiana there that time in the form of Malloy. Edwards on the left side, dug out by Lee in the back middle. Bomber for Robinson again, forks it over. Malloy bumps it all the way across for Edwards, denied by Viscuso and Aubriana Cannon. That stops the run at 6. Northwestern sized it out.
Viscuso again doing a great job with her timing. That one was pretty difficult because the ball came all the way over from one side of the court and all the way over to the other side, but Viscuso was able to read it perfectly. Great timing on the block.
16.5 team blocks for Northwestern in this match, almost unheard of for this team. Left side, Edwards has to just loft it over somehow. Johnson bumps it right side for Cannon, off the hands of Hubers, and down. Cannon back on form, and the Cats tie it up at 13 apiece.
Cannon's been looking for a kill for a little while now. She's feeling much more confident now that she's gotten it under her belt. Now she can really start to be strategic with the kind of sets that she's getting.
You mentioned that unheard of block total. That's because it's a season high, 16.5 blocks for Northwestern. Tied up at 13 in the 4th. Tried to get a block that time, but Edwards is able to tool it off of the high, outstretched hands of Alana Walker, and down 14-13 Hoosiers.
Edwards really picked it up in that last set. She's now hitting 0. She had been faltering a little bit, but she is kind of back with 11 kills, 11 errors, so she's going to try to keep picking that up in this set.
Westenhofer now to serve. She targets Johnson. Now on the right side, Cannon goes cross court and sends it just a little bit outside. Westenhofer said it was out. Their officials agreed. And now Indiana's lead back up to 3.
And just when Cannon thought she had it back, she misses again. It was a smart, sharp cross shot, but she's not getting the topspin she needs for the ball to drop.
Reaction play by Johnson on that serve from Westenhofer. And now Robinson sends it too long. Wheels coming off a little bit here for Northwestern. It's 16-13 in the 4th.
That's a lazy play for Robinson. She just didn't transition enough. She had been so successful in those out-of-system plays, moving her body all the way back behind the ball, but that time she just didn't make the effort.
Westenhofer with another tough serve. Cannon sends it right into the net. Didn't time that approach very well at all. Cannon really spiked that into the bottom of the net. Asdell was there for Indiana and didn't even have to make a touch.
Northwestern's offense really struggling right now. Mia Robinson tried to slow down the momentum there a little bit just by fake tying her shoe.
3 straight unforced Northwestern errors, and Indiana leads by 4. Robinson right back to it on the left side, up by Kors. Westenhofer left side for Edwards, blocked by Walker. Cannon in the area as well. Northwestern sims the tide. Another block for Alana Walker, her 10th.
That kind of point is exactly what Northwestern needs right now. They need to send a message to Indiana that they are not lying down right now. They're not going to roll over in this set. They're going to make a push right now.
17.5 team blocks for Northwestern, breaking a previous season high of 15. That was in that 5-setter against Iowa at Beardsley Gym earlier this year. Edwards forks it over. Northwestern hustles to get to it. Bomber sends it all the way back to the right side. Walker sends it onto the other side for the Cats, and now Westenhofer sets it near side for Asdell, but she carried it on the way. A setting error against Westenhofer. Northwestern will take that point.
Good call from the referee. Westenhofer's hands were just too high up, and it bounced right off one hand to the other.
Westenhofer's got 18 assists. Brizak has 27. So that two-setter system working as it usually has for the Hoosiers so far this year. 17-15 in the fourth. Huber's not a lot on that swing of the set from Westenhofer. Northwestern in control. A blast by Robinson. Good up by Kors. Overpass over the net and out of play. Robinson watched it all the way and ushered it out of bounds. It's a kill for Nia Robinson, her 24th.
Kors has been doing a really good job filling in for Lebo over there. She's come up with a few really big digs, and that one was close. It just went out of bounds on the other side.
17-16 now. The Cats back into it here. Pitches to serve. Kors with an easy platform. Westenhofer, right side shot by Edwards. Bomber sends it over on one touch. Westenhofer back to the right side again. Edwards a blast. Easy up by Lee. Bomber left side for Robinson off the hands of Hubers. Northwestern controls. Bump set by Lee. Looking for Robinson again. Rejected. Brianna Edwards all over that one with Hayden Hubers in the area as well. Northwestern tried to go back to Robinson, and Edwards said, "I see you there."
Huge block for Indiana. That one went straight down, and there was nothing that Northwestern's coverage, which was there behind the hitter, there was just nothing they could do about it because the ball went down so sharp. That's when you know that you've made a good connection as a blocker and you've really pressed over the net.
24 kills now. Nia Robinson hitting .310. Or a Meehan back in to serve for the Hoosiers. We saw her take over for Bailey Lebo at the end of set 2. On the slide, Walker a blast. Good up by Meehan. Malloy sends over a free ball. Lee. Bomber now on the right side. They'll try Walker again, and she finishes it off this time. 8 kills on 17 swings for Walker. Cats deficit down to 1.
Walker is just really feeling it right now. When you need a point, look to Walker, and I think that's exactly what Bomber has to do right now, especially because she's in the front row with Ella Gerbach on the outside, who hasn't been as confident out.
18-17 now in the fourth. Cats need just one more set for the match win. On the left side, Malloy off the tape, and it's a point for Northwestern.
Looked like it went outside the antenna over there. Shane Davis stepped in and made that call for the team. Nia Robinson is back serving right now. It's tied 18-18. It's a new game. Northwestern has to make a tough push right now.
Just the third service error of the match by Malloy. Robinson served just barely over the net. Westenhofer on the right side for Hubers. Not a great set. Western controls. Bomber on the slide again for Walker. Off hands and down. Walker got the touch, her 9th kill, and Northwestern has scored back to take a 19-18 lead. Steve Aird says, "I've seen enough." He calls his second and final timeout. Indiana's already clinched a winning record in Steve Aird's first year at the helm. They're 16-14 coming into today. But a win today would give them 8 conference wins, which is no small feat. Of course, as we've already mentioned, Northwestern needs a win to become 500 for the first time under Shane Davis, and the first time since 2014. They haven't made the playoffs in any capacity since 2010 when they got to the second round of the NCAA tournament. They want to even be eligible for the NIVC in its second year of its rebirth. Northwestern must win today to become 500. 19-18 Northwestern with Robinson to serve. Westenhofer, not a great set. Hubers did just enough to get it over. Hubers to Westenhofer again. Left side swing by Malloy. Big tomahawk swing on that side. She finds the corner. Malloy ties it up at 19.
And that set to the gap in the first play didn't really work out for Indiana. It was poorly timed. But when the ball came back over, Hubers went up big again in the gap, and they ran a double quick, and so Westenhofer was able to dish it out to the outside and confuse Northwestern's block.
10 kills, 10 digs for Cameron Malloy, her second double-double of the season. Right side the swing by Walker, off hands, good up by Meehan. Malloy on the left side, denied by Bomber and Walker. Trying to go right back to Malloy, but the Northwestern defense keyed in on that one. The 11th total block for Alana Walker today. Bomber's got 5 of her own.
And it may have taken all season, but Britt Bomber is finally stepping up into that blocking role, doing a great job setting up the block for her middle to come out and meet her and setting up a tight double block.
18.5 total team blocks for Northwestern today. I already mentioned that that broke their previous season high of 15. A 5-setter against Iowa here in Evanston at Beersley Gym with 9 kills. Cats hitting 0 in this set, but are 5 points away from winning the match. It's 20-19. The true first-year libero Michelle Lee on to serve. Missed over the net. Meehan for Westenhofer on the left side. Tip drill from Malloy. Northwestern controls. Indiana sends it back over immediately. Bomber out of the pipe set for Robinson. Off hands and down. 25 kills for Nia Robinson. And Northwestern 4 points away.
Really smart set from Britt Bomber. She's in the front row with Olivia Viscuso and Ellie Gerback, not the most dominant hitters. And so she just dishes that ball nice and easy to Nia Robinson, quick in the back row.
You've wanted to see that pipe set a lot more this season. We saw it a fair amount last year with Simone Abbott and company. Now finally Northwestern using it. Michelle Lee with a float serve. Meehan can't handle it. Ace serve, Michelle Lee. The 5th service ace of the game, and Northwestern 3 points away from winning the match.
And really well-timed ace from Michelle Lee. It was pretty lucky, and it came exactly when she needed it. They just had to finish this set.
Meehan off, Edwards on, taking her place in the back middle. Lee to serve again, a flow serve off the tape, good up by Coors. Westnoffer pushes it left side for Lofton, didn't even jump on that swing. Left side, Gerback with a blast in front of Edwards and down. Northwestern 2 points away from winning the match.
Northwestern looks like they're back firing on all cylinders now. We've mentioned multiple times Gerback has been struggling this match, so she's able to get a kill right there. You have to know that something's going right for Northwestern.
Timeouts left for Steve Ayers, so his players have to do the job themselves. Lee to serve, 23-19. Westnoffer in the middle. Lofton has to adjust. Another poor set to get a swing on it. Back to Gerback on the left side. Nice up by Edwards, back middle. Westnoffer waits, pushes it left side. Line shot by Malloy. Nicely done all around. Bombers had it went out. Clearly did not. Malloy finds the line, 23-20. Cameron Malloy now up to 11 kills and 10 digs. Edwards has 11, Hubers has 11, and Lofton has 12. Victoria Brizak checks back into the match. 27 assists and 7 digs for her. 23-20 Northwestern in the 4th. They're up 2 sets to 1. Out of the back row, Robinson has to push at a pipe set, and Lofton was there for a solo block. Only one blocker in the area, and she read it perfectly.
Yeah, and a good rule of thumb is when the ball is too low, the tip is deep. It is not short. When people see a low set, they automatically run forward, and so you have to change that mindset and push the ball deep instead of right into the block.
Robinson now under 300 on the match as Brizak sends it just long. The 9th service error for the Hoosiers, and Northwestern has match point in set 4.
And that's just the worst possible time for a missed serve. She just gave Northwestern a free ball right here. Britt Bomber has been feeling it on the service line, and she's ready to go right now.
24-21, and Britt Bomber to serve. Match point for Northwestern. Edwards pushes it up. Brizak, left side, Lexi Johnson finds the floor in front of Nia Robinson. 1 match point saved. It's 24-22. Lexi Johnson has been pretty quiet in this game, and she gets her 6th kill. Now 24-22, match point number 2 for Northwestern in set 4. Welsh Ryan Arena faithful on its feet. Cameron Malloy, one of Indiana's best servers all game, back to serve. In the back middle for Allie Lindra. Bomber, left side, Cannon with a blast, and Cannon finds the floor. Northwestern wins it in 4 sets. And the Cats are 500 for the first time under Shane Davis. 16-16, your final record in 2018. An even record or better for the first time since 2014. That keeps Northwestern's postseason hopes a chance at the NIVC alive for the time being. Northwestern wins it in 4.